What's up everybody, my name is Tonny and I'm here with another Warframe guide video. In this video we will be looking at the Umbral Banshee Prime Hybrid. I'll be talking about and showing you guys different Warframe abilities that you guys can use. I'm not going to count the Mark for Death or Empowered abilities from the Helminth system, just Warframe abilities itself from Warframes. But before we get into the builds that I have for you guys, let's take a good look at the appearance real fast. So I have the Banshee Prime helmet with the Soprano skin, Prisma set here with the body ephemera, Prisma Irisindana, and for the regalia would be the Katir Sakara and the sigils. For those that's wondering what that sigil is on the front, that's the Banshee Soprano sigil. Alright, let's go straight for the build. So I got two builds for you guys. The build I had is the Quake build, which is using the Resonating Quake for the augment here. It basically does more damage than usual without the augment, so you definitely must have for this. You got some negative duration with range and strength at max or somewhat max, or as high as possible. Prime flow, augur reach, arcane guardian with energize, that's a must have since this is a pretty squishy warframe. Growing power is a must have, and power drift, of course you want to have that. Now when it comes to the hybrid ability I have here is the breach surge. So what this does basically is any enemy that gets hit while they're blind will have a 10% chance to release a spark that hunts for the head of other enemies and just hit them. Now the damage will be based on the damage multiplier and your weapon's damage. So the radius is at 40 meters, which is not that bad. Its highest chance is 50%, which procs radiation. When it comes to using this with Quake, it does somehow fit just by a little bit. But obviously when it comes to Quake, it's not really a great ability to use for Banshee because obviously most people will be using Sonar, which I have for my second build. So I'm going to show you a brief demonstration of how to use both the Breach Surge and Soundquake using growing power as well, really fast. We'll be testing on level 70s. Now back in my old video I was able to use the original build of Banshee's Quake with only level around 40 to 50, but level 70s should work a little bit now, just by a little tad bit. So we got elite crewmen, MOAs, corrupted crewmen, attack drones. So mainly on the corpus side is a build you want to use for. Grineers, that is a totally different build I will tell about later on in the video on a second alternative abilities for you guys to use. Let's take a test on the level 70s here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Breach Surge first on these guys. Now there are attacking charge, which is okay, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the damage from afar right here. This is without growing power too. I'm not proccing growing power. Let's take a good look at how many's left. So that's how much enemies are left. It's not that great. So let's go ahead and do a reset. Now usually when you use this build, it's kind of highly active. You can't really AFK that much anymore. So I'm going to show you guys a proper way to do this. So first, let's get some enemies out there. Let's get a growing power proc. Breach Surge, go nearby any enemy, of course, and you can't AFK near the objective or whatever. Just straight up press your 4. So you do more damage that way, and look, it's already cleaned up. So in defense, survivals, you don't want to spam your 4 on like an empty area, you know. You want to go near an enemy, press your 4, and hopefully the Breach Surge will proc and, you know, hit another enemy. If not, then it's going to hit nothing. But you know what, when it comes to Soundquake, it's not that ideal to use in high levels, but I think this is just straight up a tiny bit of an upgrade from my original build. But for those that wants to do Sonar, I got you guys. And I think Sonar is way better than Quake, but Quake is only for those that miss the original DPS or nuking build back in the day when Soundquake was absolutely beast. You could just sit there AFK and hold down your 4 and destroy everything. So that's the build for those people, which is basically me. But Sonar I think is the best here, and I'll show you guys why. So first, Sonar, we got a 101 in duration, not bad. You don't really need a high duration on Sonar, just because 30 seconds for these two, Breach Surge and Sonar, is good enough. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, that should be good enough to kill everything, because I mean you do a lot of damage. And I'll explain all that in a minute, but first let's take a look at the build here. So I got Arc and Energize with Guardian. As always, it's squishy, so you got 300 to health and shield. Umbral Intensify, Blind Rage, Resonance, this is a must-have, so that way it keeps recasting. Just put that in there. Augur Reach, Stretch, Constitution. Now when it comes to duration, if you guys want more duration, replace this with Prime Continuity. Obviously that's better than friggin' Constitution. But I don't want to format again because this is going to ruin my Quake build. So again, just replace this with Continuity if you guys want, or Prime Flow if you guys want more energy, or Let's see what else you guys can replace this with. If you guys want to be more survivability, Prime Vigor would be nice here. I think that's about it. Augur Reach, you guys can replace it with Secrets if you guys don't want to have that range, so Secrets will work here for more damage. Message if you guys want more duration. Transient Fortitude, if you guys can handle proccing the energy conversion and want the duration, go ahead and put that in there. Obviously, you gotta keep proccing energy conversion to get that bonus, otherwise, you're just gonna do very little damage, like 198, 3.96 multiplier, 9.9x multiplier, which is not that bad. I prefer Transient Fortitude since I'm spamming my abilities a lot. Alright, so for the weapon for Sonar. Now, when you guys do use Sonar, you need to have a very strong weapon. So what I have here is Opticore Vandal. So this build here, I have a Ribbon, 85.9% electricity with CC damage and critical damage and critical chance at a pretty good rate. This are the stats at almost close to 100%. Vigilance Supplies, yeah, that's a little bit more into bonus, I would say. Critical multiplier 8.7. That's fucking insane. 8.7. Jesus fucking Christ. I will show you guys the damage on that. That's insane. So this is okay. I won't go into the builds on my Vandal weapons. I'm just going to show you very quick on how much damage my Opticore does. And Prova and Lado. Lado for the, well, get a secondary with Energizing Shot. So if you guys check back at my build here, there's no Prime Flow. Well, I use Energizing Shot on my secondary and I should get energy no problem. This one is Prime Flow. You don't really need Energizing Shot that much, but if you do spam a lot, yeah, you definitely need it. So Arcane Energize and Prime Flow, Energizing Shot. This one, Arcane Energize and Energizing Shot for the energy. Or you guys can just use Xeneric. Xeneric also helps, which I use as well. But let's go straight into the demonstration for the secondary, the Sonar build. Alright, so for the Sonar demonstration, I'm going to do this on level 175 Heavy Gunners. I'm going to show you guys the amount of damage it does. So let's just only use the Sonar. And I'm going to show you guys how much damage it does. Then I'm going to show you guys Breach Surge. Alright. And these are X-Men too, but that's whatevs. That's whatevs. Alright, so that's only one cast. If you guys cast Sonars multiple times, you'll cover the entire body. So I'm going to show you guys right now. You guys can also use Silence, which I'm going to use right now for you guys that's wondering. Oh, that's my bad. That's a lot of damage. I think I just saw 100,000 on that one. Yeah, that's a lot. Alright, that's enough. So let's go ahead and use Breach Surge now. So, with Breach Surge, now this is the part where it gets a little bit juicy. The Sonar alone is not enough. These are level 170s, right? What about Breach Surge though? Of course, you want to hit the green spots there. I think I missed a few. Let's do one more time in Breach Surge. Obviously, at lower levels or less tankier enemies, you do a lot more damage. Alright, so that's the way it works. So basically, let me do one more time. So basically the way this works is you want to proc your growing power. Breach Surge first. Spam a bunch of Sonar if you want, or just one cast of Sonar. Start killing people. You guys can use your melee weapon as well. So that's how it works. And if you guys have a better primary weapon than Opticore, obviously you want to use that. So if you got AoE primary weapon, that actually works wonders. That actually helps a lot more than Opticore, I'm not going to lie. I'm using Opticore because why not? It's Vandal set. I'm using the Vandal loadout right now. Okay, so we have seen the Breach Surge on both the Banshee and Warframe builds, but what about other abilities? Well, let's take a look at some of the abilities that can be used with the Quake build. First off, on my second pick would be the Fire Blast. Now what this has is basically at my build stats, you got 556 damage, that's the initial damage, and then you got the 626 fire damage that gets procced. That's per second, by the way. Then you also have the 75% armor reduction, and the range at 25 meters or more. And the third pick would be the Elemental Ward on the fire elements only, because I believe that is more beneficial than the other elements. And with this, if enemies are within the 39 meter range, they take 278 fire damage per second. You also get the initial 556 health bonus, And the duration only lasts for 29 seconds, but that should be enough for you to be able to kill everything inside the room or anything like that. So I believe those abilities do work with the Quake, since there's not many abilities out there for Quake. But what about Sonar? Well, there's a shit ton of abilities, so I'm only going to go over the ones that I believe are worth mentioning. So first off would be the Elemental Ward as a second pick, since you are pretty squishy when it comes to the Sonar build. The Fire Element on Elemental Ward, all the stats are the same except duration, which is at 40 seconds. So Elemental Ward is great for being a little bit tanky and survivability, of course. But the third pick, I believe is actually pretty good, would be the Spectral Siphon, which is basically the augment for Spectral Rage. Stats on the Sonar, we got 224 mirror damage, 4170 on the collapse damage, with 22 seconds duration. The charm radius at 10 meters, and you start with 32 mirrors and 16 collapse threshold. So the radius or the range also affects the amount of mirrors and the collapse threshold. And finally, the shooting gallery at 69.50% damage bonus, 36 seconds in duration, 42 meters for the jamming the guns. You should not take shots from enemies at all at 42 meter range. This is great for those that are really squishy. Enemies can't do shit and you can just screw them up and just shoot them constantly. Honorable mentions, Rhino's War, also a great alternative to shooting gallery. If you guys don't want to use shooting gallery, you get the nice faction damage. Mirage's Eclipse, great for damage reduction and damage. Valkyrie's Warcry for armor, and if you guys are going to be using a lot of melee with the Sonar, then Valkyrie's attack speed for Warcry would be really, really nice. Also, another ability that's great on Sonar would be the Larva. You guys can use the Augment, which is optional, but without using the Augment, you guys get no ability strength benefits. At 31 meter range, of course, 101 duration to 7 seconds, while 150 duration is 10 seconds. So my default or my current Sonar build is at 101 duration, so you get 7 seconds. If you guys decide to increase the duration, it's at 10 seconds. If you guys decide to use the augments, 834 damage on the Toxin, and the explosion range is at 13 meters. That is it for this video. Hopefully this video helps you guys a little bit on Banshee hybrid abilities here. You guys can use other abilities out there I probably did not mention, but I think these are the ones that stands out. But if you guys do like this video, give it a like, subscribe to support my channel. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace out.